dulcet tone. Like mating geese.
Shut up.
Places for top of the show.
Jesus, look at me. I'm old and fat and haggard.
You're not that old.
Fuck you, Todd Schroeder.
House to house, go.
How's the house?
Sam, stop peeking out of the curtain.
Fog, go.
I peaked in 2011.
House out, go.
Oh my God.
You're gonna go out there a star and come back a chorus boy.
Ha! Okay, let's do this.
Intro, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Harris. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're here, you're here, you're here, and you're here. And I'm here. And when I say I'm here, I mean like I'm really like here. I'm here. I'm really working on that, you know? I mean, have you guys read that book, The Power of Now? Yeah. I haven't read it. It's on my to-do list, though. Reading The Power of Now has been on my to-do list for 17 years. But I figured that it will always be now, and I'll have more time for now later when it will still be now. You know what, I have to just say something right out of the gate. Since we're spending the evening together, I just want to get this out and tell you. Right before I go on stage, I get so nervous, like crazy, like paralyzing fear nervous. This little voice comes into the back of my head that says, "Don't go out there, you talentless charlatan. What if they find out? What the hell are you doing? Who the hell do you think you are?" And then I remember. You know what, though? You guys, I actually almost didn't make it here tonight for several reasons. The first was when I was 3 years old. I choked on an Oscar Mayer wiener, lost consciousness, turned blue, and was ambulanced to the hospital where I died. I know. Imagine my surprise. There was no light at the end of the tunnel, but I do have a vague recollection of meeting Teddy Roosevelt and Sylvia Plath. But in a miraculous quirk of fate, I came back from the dead, and therefore, lo, these many years later, I am here to do this show for you tonight. Not that there weren't ramifications. I mean, oxygen didn't get to my brain for many minutes. You don't just walk away from a wiener tragedy of that magnitude. For nearly a year, electrodes were glued to my shaved scalp to check for brain defects. I remember overhearing the doctor tell my parents they were lucky I wasn't a vegetable. I wondered what kind. But though not technically brain damaged, I've always wondered how I might have been different were it not for my curious incident of the hot dog in the nighttime. Smarter maybe, quicker, normal. As for the other reasons I almost didn't make it here tonight, the stumbling blocks of a life well lived. Well, lived. When I think of all the changes that have happened over the course of my lifetime, over most of our lifetimes, it's truly astounding. More change in one generation since the Industrial Revolution. And Alexander Graham Bell had nothing on Snapchat. Our sense of health and safety has changed. We didn't wear seatbelts, right? And in the winter, our parents smoked in the car with all the windows rolled up because we might catch cold. Our sense of self-image has changed. I think Mariah Carey summed it up best when she said, and I quote, "When I see those poor starving children on those television commercials, it really makes me cry. I mean, I'd like to be skinny like that." But not with all the flies and death and stuff. It's the "and stuff" part that really freaks me out. Our language has changed. Secondhand smoke meant you were ambidextrous. Marriage equality meant, "I'll wash, honey, you dry." A cell phone was something you used to call from prison. Apple was a fruit, Mac was a name, Tweet was a sound, Vine was a plant, Tumblr was a glass, Grindr was a kitchen appliance, Instagram was a quick drug deal, and a selfie. A selfie was something you did in the privacy of your bedroom. And you could go blind. Flipping through the memories of a lifetime. Looking at the titles of the chapters of my years. Zipping through the moments I would rather have forgotten, and then landing on the ones that made me feel as if I mattered. Career to career. Filing through my wild imagination. Wondering in retrospect what is and isn't true. Smiling at some brilliant revelation that enlightened, and then facing all the times when my validity was shattered. Something bold, nothing new. But I always get through, and now I'm an open book. The cover's slightly tattered and the page is lightly frayed. I am an open book, some mishmash of reality among the plans I made. The binding and the spine, the black and white that defines, and the stuff between the lines, an open book. Some memories I seem to have discarded. Others stick like chewing gum beneath a well-worn shoe. Skeletons and secrets and the gratitude of blessings, and then adding newer chapters to create a happy ending. Hitting blocks, breaking through. Another draft to redo, and now I'm an open book. The cover's slightly tattered and the page is lightly frayed. I am an open book, some mishmash of reality among the plans I made. The binding and the spine, the black and white that defines, and the stuff between the lines. I am the contents of my father's father's father, and the index of my mother's mother's mother. The friends I've loved who lived and died, acknowledgements and swallowed pride. The glossary of disappointed lovers tucked between the covers of my book. It's not that I think my life is so exceptional, or even matters for that matter, just a drop against the sea. It's some stories. You've got yours, and I suppose they're all exceptional. But the truth is in this place, and at this time, and in this space, tonight is all about me. I am an open book. The cover's slightly tattered and the pages lightly frayed. I am an open book, some mishmash of reality among the plans I made. the spine, the black and white that defines, and the stuff between the lines. An open book, an open book. I spent my wonderless years in the small town of Sand Springs, Oklahoma. Peculiarly named as there was neither sand nor springs anywhere near the area. But the name Red Clay Dirty River doesn't roll off the tongue quite so trippingly. Sand Springs was Americana, grassroots, and boasted the title Industrial Capital of the Country, home to more manufacturing plants per capita than anywhere else in the USA. All the pollution of a big city without a single perk. My father was the band director at Charles Page High School. He was the go-to guy for students and parents alike. He was the favorite teacher, the giver of advice, the source of encouragement. I remember watching him conduct the spring concert, his arms waving in a magical dance. He was magnificent. I didn't see him much but for weekends when he would seclude himself in the dark watching sports on television. He was a man of his time. Mothers were for raising children. Having a band director for a father, however, did have its advantages. I was only 3.5 years old, mere months after my harrowing wiener-choking catastrophe, when my father plunked me in front of a microphone at a football game. O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Attaboy, son. Attaboy. And looking back, I realized that at that moment, I had acquired a condition I'd not known before. And just as Peter Parker had been bitten by a radioactive spider and became Spider-Man, something happened to me the day that I choked on a chunk of pork, and I would never be the same. I became a ham. I've always been this way. It's my curse, my kiss, my blood, my bliss that keeps me on display. I'm a certified ham. My knack, my crack, my vice. Savory, sweet, good enough to eat. Everybody grab a big slice. Ham, salted, smoked, and brined. Reality's no match for me. I've grown a thicker rind. I'm a rubber-stamped ham. A jambone connoisseur. 1,000 recipes, pass the mustard, please. Add a slice of cheese, nothing that a ham can cure. I've been braised and cracked and glazed and hot, deep fried, butterflied, boiled and walked. I've been chomped and chewed, chickarroned and stewed, turned around on a spit, buried and smoked in a pit. Sometimes deviled, I admit, this little piggy's just ham. It's in my DNA. When the road gets rough, I'll find the trouble. Life is a buffet, never a bore. Hot damn, ham I am. Any way you spice it, any way you slice it, honey bacon serve me, entree or hors d'oeuvre me, celebrate or can me, let the Jews all ban me. from hoof to snout, no matter the platter, any way you slice it, I fear that my karmic lesson in this lifetime is humility. And I think that lesson is beneath me. Ham! I hit the jackpot at age 5 when I got to play Little Jerome DeBeck, one of the 2 mixed-race Polynesian bastard children, in the Charles Page High School production of South Pacific. I wore a flowered loincloth, full body paint, Max Factor Egyptian tan number 5, and eye makeup. That looked more like Agnes Moorehead in Bewitched than anyone remotely Polynesian. Places! I'll be ready. On opening night, I made my entrance in all my mixed-race Polynesian bastard child glory, hand in hand with Dee Dee Shields, who played my sister, ready to slay him with the song, Dites-moi, in real French, though I'd gotten the translation so I could fully commit. Dites-moi, pourquoi la vie est belle? Dites-moi, pourquoi la vie est gaie? Dites-moi, pourquoi, chère mademoiselle? Unbeknownst to me, in the prior scene, one of the actors had dropped a drinking glass which had shattered all over down center. As Dee Dee and I walked toward the audience, barefoot, and midway through the first verse, I stepped onto a shard of broken glass which drove straight up into the arch of my foot. I felt the hot bite. I looked down to see a pool of blood spreading around my feet. I gasped, and a voice from deep within whispered loud and clear, "Suck it up, Harris. You're in show business." Hersey-cock, Dee Dee screamed. Hersey-cock, Dee Dee fled. And I finished the song. Mock, make. The applause was better than first aid. And I knew Dee Dee would never make it in show business. The next scheduled production was The Miracle Worker. Because of my triumph in South Pacific, I was certain I would be offered the role of Helen. The phone remained silent, but I was undeterred. I became fixated with her. Anybody with that many handicaps was not only captivating and heroic, but could completely relate to the tribulations of the human spirit, just like me. I tied a dish towel around my eyes and stuffed toilet paper in my ears for sense memory. After 5 days, my father had finally had enough. Take off the goddamn rag and act like a person. Helen Keller was a person. How can you say that? You're not Helen Keller. I could be if they'd give me a chance. When I was told that I was being offered another part, I begged to go to the audition. Well, Sam, you sweet little baby doll, you did not need to come today. We already know you're playing Percy. But I wanted to come. I want to read for Helen. Read for Helen. Helen didn't have any lines. Well, bless your little pea-picking heart. You know, I think we're gonna go a more traditional direction. A more traditional direction. I was cast instead in the role of Percy, a little Negro child who mostly sleeps. Max Factor Egyptian tan number 10. A more traditional direction. I couldn't understand how they could see me as a Polynesian child and as a Negro child, but insisted on casting a non-child in a child's part. The girl who played Helen Keller had just turned 18 years old, and she was tall and gangly with full-on titties. She was a woman. And she somehow managed to wah-wah with a Southern accent. And she signed as if she was playing rock, paper, scissors. Wah-wah. Dreadful. I knew she wouldn't make it in show business either. My disappointment was not discussed at home, but after a few days, "Hey, Sam, come on in here and turn down the TV." Turn down the... I knew this must really be important. When the room was silent, my father pulled back the handle on his lazy boy recliner, rocketing him to an upright position. "Son, life is a bowl of shit. And we just stir it up. Turn the TV back up." My father went back to his baseball game, and I went back to my bedroom and the sanctuary of my record albums and practiced my autograph. Tell me why, please do. Life is so beautiful. Tell me why, please do. Life is so... More and more, I was a stew of confusion. Well, I knew that my father was proud of my talent. He seemed to look at my obsession as something that made me different from the other kids, rather than simply unique. Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. I mean, it's one thing for a 7-year-old to love the stage. Life's candy and the sun's a ball of butter. It's another for him to spend hours a day perfecting an Anthony Newley impersonation and then performing it door to door for confused neighbors. Stand well like I'm coming through. Nothing is strong enough. Watch out well. I'm warning you, nothing can stop me now. I wasn't done yet. When I was in the 3rd grade, my dad wanted to butch me up, so he signed me up for Little League Baseball. I really wanted to please him, so I dug in full force. Nothing can stop me. Our coach was Mr. Flynn. He was broad and tanned and manly. He was baseball. I even suspected he ate off a home plate. "My teams always win. Are you a winner?" I said, "Are you a winner?" We headed into auditions. I mean, tryouts. I was gonna be one of the guys, belching and farting and showing off for girls. Fly like a bat out of you-know-where. Who's got the Oklahoma flair? All week we pitched and caught and batted and grounded and fielded. I wasn't very good, so I was put in right field. That's upstage left, house right. I didn't have much to do, so I took in the bleachers And I imagined him full of fans, cheering for me. At the end of the week, we all gathered in the dugout as Mr. Flynn called our names one by one. Morgan, Patterson, Cook, Davis, Winter, 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 Hanner, Jefferson, Pogue, Moss, Winter, 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 Harris. You can be water boy if you want. My father was parked 50 feet away in our imitation wood-paneled Ford station wagon. I glanced over in time to see him absorb what had happened and then drop his hands and his head onto the steering wheel in disgrace or submission or something in between. We drove home silently, staring straight ahead, never speaking of it again. I didn't care if I ever played baseball, but I think it killed my father that day. Well, he'd never been the kind of dad who, tossed a ball or had batting practice or whatever it is they do. This wasn't about being athletic. It meant that he wasn't the only one who knew that I was different, odd, not like the others. The secret was out. I didn't think he blamed me. I never ever thought he blamed me. He was just sad and disappointed, afraid that if I wasn't like him, that my life would be hard and lonely. He saw how the misfits were treated, and he didn't want that for his son. Suck it up, Dad. I'm in show business. I'm gonna live and live now. Get what I want, I know how. One row for the whole shebang. One throw, that bell will go clang. Eye on the target and wham! One shot, one gunshot, and bam! Hey world, here I am. Much, much. Turn at that, sir. At least I didn't fake it, sir. I guess I didn't make it. Get ready for me life, cause I'm a comer. I simply got a much. My heart's a drum, I know, but I know nobody. He's got no red on my Life happened. My father became even more consumed with work, and my mother was on the popular diet prescription plan of amphetamines and sheep urine injections. Sam, did you pick up your room? I told you 3 times to pick up your room. I'm gonna clean out the garage and then I'm gonna re-roof the house and then we should go over all your lines. We really should go over your lines. I can do all the other parts. I think I'm gonna make a casserole. I'm fine. Our house burned down. Then we moved into a trailer and survived a tornado. Then we got a new house. It burned down too. You can't make this shit up. But it was all endurable as long as I had the theater. I convinced my teachers to let me write and produce my own shows and rehearse before school and after school and at recess and at lunchtime. I couldn't understand why some of the kids didn't want to give up their lunch. Clearly, they had no work ethic. I forced my little brother and all the neighborhood kids to be in my basement extravaganzas. And then I started doing plays at Tulsa Little Theater with real adults. Of course, I was always in all the school talent shows, usually in multiple categories. One year, in 9th grade, I won 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Edith Head just won her 8th Oscar for costume design for The Sting. And I think I know just a little bit about how she must feel. When I was a sophomore in high school, suddenly I had competition. Her name was Rochelle Chambers, and she had a spectacular voice. She flipped and fluted in a high, playful register like a violinist, a soulful black violinist. She sang with an ease that escaped me. My singing was born of a need that came out in a cry. Rochelle, who preferred to be called Roach for completely non-drug and non-insect-related reasons, kept asking me if I'd like to go to church with her some Sunday. I wasn't really a church person. There was that fire and brimstone God who was angry and then loving and then vengeful and then sorry, clearly undiagnosed bipolar. And also, I had always been attracted to Judaism. Not so much the religion as the oppression. But they were the chosen people. More than anything, I just wanted to be chosen. However, in my little town of Sand Springs, Jews, having killed Christ, were ne'er to be seen. Southern baptism was more accessible. Actually, unavoidable. Not only in churches, but in schools and on billboards and in shops, where there were signs like, round steak, only 59 cents a pound. Jesus saves. But Rochelle's invitation didn't insinuate that I needed to be saved. I sensed there was something more, a secret that Roach wanted to share. Finally, I said yes. The following Sunday, Roach arrived at my house in a rousing shade of mulberry that matched her mood. Hey, baby, you ready? Nope. Hey, no, you can't come in. You gotta walk all the way around because that door don't work, honey. You know how that is. Good morning. I got a cup of coffee and a Dunkin' Donut with your name on it. We drove down the hill, past middle-class, neatly painted homes with closely mowed, dew-sprinkled lawns. Then further and further, through the poorer section of town, finally crossing the Sand Springs railway track and into an area I'd only ever heard about.
Color Town, come on down. Everybody welcome on the hallowed ground. Color Town, we'll show you around. If you get lost, this is where you'll be found.
It was a 10-square block ghetto, row after row of clapboard houses, barely more than shacks, with narrow, dry clay yards and no trees. At the end of the road, a wooded area emerged, centered by a plain, white, wooden church Parishioners buzzed around the entrance, dressed for a show, especially the ladies, in electric tangerine and turquoise and cranberry, stripes and polka dots and presumptuous architectural hats with matching shoes and gloves, like sapphires sprinkled among dust. Once inside, Roach left me in a worn pew and joined the choir behind the pulpit, and the congregation rose and sang.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna wait till my change comes.
Sound had nothing to do with any church I'd ever attended. Real people were singing without apology, loud and untamed. A united, glorious noise built on singular voices, each with its own celebration and pain. A nearly carnal joy rose slow and hot in the back of my throat, swelling until I could no longer contain it.
Oh, I say I'm gonna hold out to, hold out to, hold out. Yeah, I say I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna wait till my change comes.
I'd sung along with Aretha in my room, and I'd hit all the notes. But this was about something more than how to sing. It was why. The people in this black church seemed to have a direct connection to a happy God who surely danced, and an unbridled belief that change would come and suffering would end through faith and action. It had only been 13 years since the Civil Rights Act had been signed, and it was all still hot and messy and red and personal, like a fresh wound purposely inflicted. And I was standing in the middle of it. Hold out, hold out, hold out, hold out, yeah, hold out, hold out. Wait till my change comes. An old woman next to me noticed my full-throated enthusiasm. She was ancient and ageless and beautiful. She grabbed my hand with her crocheted glove and dragged me up the aisle and to the pulpit.
Oh, hold out, hey, hold out, hey, hold out, hey, hold out, boy, hold out, yeah, hold out, hey. Wait till my change comes.
Praise the Lord. I got to say something. I got to tell you what the Lord has done for me today. Boy, you just stand right over there, right there. I come humbly before the throne of grace. Yes, I do. I say humbly, humbly. Y'all know me. I've been coming to this here church for 47 years, since before it was burnt down. Before it was burnt down, before that. My eyes has seen the glory, and a lot more than it probably should has. But today, yes, today, my eyes sees more clearly, even through these Cadillacs, y'all, because we got a new voice out today. We got a new face out today. This boy, this white boy standing right next to me, he been singing his heart out. What's your name, child? What's your name? Sam? Speak up, baby. Mama don't hear so good. Sam, what? Sam, what? Sam, 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 Sam is the prophet heard by God. Somebody help me. This be a sign, y'all. This be a sign. My old black head, this young white head, we be intertwined. We be singing. We'll be praising, and we'll be holding hands, and that, my peoples, is the gospel proof that the change is on us. Hallelujah. Roach smiled at me from the choir. She shared her secret. And even though I was no more black than I was Jewish, I had found yet another tribe that seemed to me more natural than my own. And it changed the way I heard music and sang from that day forward. I was down, I was tired, hurting with the burden of a sad, sad song. On middle ground, uninspired, dealing with the feeling that there's something gone wrong. But deep in my darkest hour, I saw a light. Although not very bright, it was enough to release the power. Now I've had enough, it's time to get on up. Revival is on the way. Revival, hit me when I say revival. This is the day that I shall be free of the chains that binded me. Hey, I was scared, I was blinded, waiting for the day when love would make me sing. Unprepared, close-minded, with uses of excuses for the same old thing. But deep in the darkest hour, I heard a voice, you better make a choice. It was enough to release the power. Ready to begin, 'cause I know where I've been. Revival is on my way. Revival, hit me when I say revival. This is the day that I shall be free of the chains that binded me. Of the chains that the chains that binded, the chains that binded me. Colored Town had released something primal inside of me that gave me the confidence to leave my little town in search of others like me, whoever that was. Opryland, USA, the theme park of musical shows in Nashville, Tennessee. I was 15 years old, and I lied about my age, and I was cast in a huge production called I Hear America Singing, a 1-hour non-stop medley of the history of American music with a live orchestra, 75 songs, and 112 costume changes. It was astounding, and it was the whitest show on earth. I hear America singing. 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 What was even more astounding, it was the summer I fell in love. What is this stirring song I hear, rising like an autumn fall? His name was Scott Pierce, and he looked just like Cary Grant. At times I would lose myself, time gone, at the wonder of his plump lower lip, or the tanned nape of his neck, or the angle of his scruffy chin. And my body would startle me with a sudden gasp, reminding me to breathe. What is this lusty song I hear? Rolling from the mountainside, the freedom bells are ringing. I hear America singing. His smile was like the sun. His feeling was something new, and at first I couldn't name it. Some mishmash of peril and promise. But it was love, and he loved me back. And I knew that it was pure, and it was good, and it was unspeakable. The summer ended much too quickly, and I returned to the same Sand Springs, a different person. Everything seemed less alive, less colorful, less. Long-distance phone calls with Scott were way too expensive and strictly forbidden, so our communication was limited to letters, handwritten in code, like we were espionage agents or thieves. I couldn't share my joy with anybody. I had fallen in love for the first time, only to leave it behind as if it had not even existed. My summer of Scott quickly turned from rapture and possibilities to a symbol of what could never be. A normal life? Impossible. Marriage? Unfathomable. It wasn't even something that would have occurred to me to wish for. Fatherhood, please. Although I had this recurring dream that I was holding hands in public and pushing a baby stroller, and I knew that it was as ridiculous as electing a black president. Not in this lifetime. I was worse for knowing love. Life is a bowl of shit, and we just stir it up. But I did what I knew how to do, and I threw myself back into school shows, practically taking over the drama department, starring and choreographing, determined that there was nothing wrong with me that a song and a dance and a touch of ham couldn't fix. Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Stand well back, I'm coming through. Nothing. But the Sam mask I'd mastered wasn't sticking. I couldn't convince or delude myself any longer. As the weeks went on, my sadness only deepened, hovering, loitering, spreading, until I had neither the want nor the energy to get out from beneath it, to duct tape myself together another morning. The jig was up. My high school psychology teacher, Mr. McDowell, sensed that something was wrong, and he reached out with a few vague, unthreatening questions. Hey, Sam, how you doing? Great. How was your summer away? Fantastic. Must have been quite a transition for you to leave Sand Springs. Not so much as coming back. You make some new friends? Yes, good. You know, people experience a lot of discoveries when they go to a new environment. There is a freedom. What do you mean? What are you saying? Nothing. Hey, listen, if you ever need to talk about anything, you let me know. He scribbled his number on a scrap of paper, 245-3515. 245-3515. I kept it in my wallet. It tempted me, but it was an enormous risk. What if he called my parents? What if he reported me to the police? What if? Instead, I sought out a trombone player. When in doubt. His name was Craig, and he'd been offering me drugs since the 7th grade. Finally, I required his services. I asked him if he could get me some downers, and a couple of days later, he gave me a sandwich baggie full of Seconal. On a Friday night, I wrote a letter to my parents on a sheet of blue-lined paper from a spiral notebook. I tore the page from the notebook, carefully removing the frayed edges so that it was clean. I folded it neatly and put it in an unmarked envelope and placed it on my bedroom desk. My parents had plans that night, and my grandmother was staying with me and my little brother. Hey, you guys, I'm gonna hit the hay early tonight, okay? Good night. I love you. I took all the Seconals with a giant glass of water and stared at myself in the mirror. I removed my clothes, replacing them with a long white t-shirt and fresh white underwear. I pulled back the covers and lay down with my hands folded across my body like the pictures of Lenin lying in state I'd seen in the history books. It was how I would be found, not messy and disheveled among rumpled sheets and doubts, but in purposeful and contemplative peace. His name was Scott Pierce, and he looked just like Cary Grant. I don't know much, but I know what is true. I had no expectations when out of the blue you uncovered my eyes and presented the view. So I'll sleep with sweet dreams because I love you. You took my hand and you gave yours to me. You untangled the clutter that set my heart free. and the light of your smile made me all I could be. So I'll sleep with sweet dreams because you loved me. Minutes go by and days have passed. Summer has turned into fall. Miracles come, but never last. But for some people, they never happen at all. Well, I may not know much, but I know what is true. And this love is enough for a lifetime or two. Who could have what we have? I suspect very few. So I'll sleep with sweet dreams because I love you. And I won't be afraid, 'cause you're all that I'll see when I sleep with sweet dreams. Sleep with sweet dreams. Sleep with sweet dreams. Because you love. There was blood all over the living room carpet. My little brother had stepped on my grandmother's darning needle and it had broken off in his foot. Shh, 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 shh. It's okay. It's okay. Everything will be all right, I promise. Suddenly, I felt a little woozy and remembered I'd taken 30-second-alls. Shit! My brother needed my help. It wasn't my night. I ran to the bathroom and stuck my finger down my throat and threw up the capsules that were dissolving in my stomach by the minute. Desperately trying to squelch any gagging noises that would give me away. I cautiously plucked the darning needle from my brother's foot with a pair of pliers, sanitized and bandaged the wound, and then I put my brother to bed, with my grandmother following soon after. I sat alone in the crowded space of my thoughts. My brother's blood stained my white t-shirt like a Rorschach. I was afraid to sleep. I made coffee and waited up for my parents so I could tell them what happened to my brother. But I knew I wouldn't tell him what happened to me. That I'd tried to commit suicide, and that a darning needle had saved my life. That holding my little brother and promising him everything would be okay in the way that I was so desperate to be comforted myself gave me enough sense of value to keep me holding on a little longer. And I knew one thing. If I were to survive, I had to get the fuck out of Dodge. I met Samla when he was 19 years old, but he looked 12, the little pisher. He had that fresh off the farm mayonnaise on everything look. Pure goy. And yes, he spoke Yiddish. Sam had been on his own since he was 16 years old and playing every dump and dive in town. Oh, I'm Jerry, by the way. Jerry Blatt, writer, director, some Broadway, all of Bette Midler's shows, Sesame Street. I know, don't ask. I don't even like small children, they're sticky. I first heard Sam sing in this shithole club in Santa Monica. He was doing blues and torch songs. Somebody put a tourniquet on my wrist to stop the bleeding. He had the voice, he had the stuff under it, he had the chutzpah, but he wasn't quite done yet. Kind of like a kugel that needs another half hour at 3:50. I tried to show Sam the art in everything, the extraordinary in the ordinary. Sam, look at the shadow of that tree, huh? Look at the crack in the sidewalk. Always find the crack in the sidewalk. I introduced him to Tom Waits and Jean-Paul Good, and I taught him how to make a matzo ball. So perfect, so light like a feather, it could make Golda Meir rise from the dead with a spoon. Sam was a sponge. Hey, excuse me. Hey! Hello, how are you? That's just so talented. Isn't he talented, ladies and gentlemen? Todd Schroeder. You're so extraordinary. I want you to know I appreciate everything that you do.
Thanks.
You are a treasure, my friend.
Thanks.
And sometimes treasures need to be buried. I tried to tell Sam that it's all just storytelling. If you tell the truth on stage, you can do anything. You can try anything. If you feel like standing on your head and it's authentic, it will work. Sam's authentic was that he was a little white boy who sang like a fat black woman. Hit it! Hey. Our first show was called Sam Harris and Fries to Go. Fries to Go were his backup singers. We were booked to open in this dump of an Italian restaurant on Sunset Boulevard called Gio's. The showroom was next to the dining room. Dreck with a side of calamari. But we treated it like we were playing Carnegie Hall. Sam was ready for the masses. Now, there was no backstage, so Sam was pacing out in the alley out back. He was so nervous, just so nervous. Pacing, schwitzing, pacing, nervous, pacing, schwitzing. I had to tell him the news. Think of it as a rehearsal. What do you mean? We've been rehearsing for weeks. The house is small. How small? Very small. How very small? There is no one in the audience. No one, not one single. Well, what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna do the show. What do you mean we're doing the show? You're not the one who has to play to nobody. Sam, you are being paid. Not much. Actually, you're losing money. But you are billed, and you need to fulfill that promise. He did the show, full out, for himself, for me, and it all came together, everything I've been trying to teach him. After his bows, yes, I made him take bows. I held him tight, and there were tears and quelling and triumph. 15 minutes later, he was fired for singing too loud. After 2 more years of crappy clubs and tiny theaters, Sam started wearing this concocted outfit with these 1940s pleated trousers and a fake front dicky and an oversized tuxedo tailcoat with sequin piping. And a pair of black high-top Converse tennis shoes. Looked like Groucho Marx meets Magic Johnson with a little Cher thrown in for good measure. But it was his authentic, so how could I argue? Word was out. Sam started getting a following that Los Angeles magazine called Parasites. I know, sounds disgusting, but it was a good thing. Talent scouts from a new television show saw him. They asked him to come and audition for the big machers. He killed it. Rejected. Said he was too theatrical. But after a couple of weeks, he got a call. They'd reconsidered.
From Hollywood, it's the world's greatest talent competition. It's Star Search. With your host, Ed McMahon.
From Sand Springs, Oklahoma, Sam Harris.
Look at me. Look at me. I am changing, trying every way I can. I'm changing. I'll be better than I am. I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna leave my past behind. I'll change my life. Now make a vow. Nothing's gonna stop me now.
4-star.
Now remember, this was before American Idol, before The Voice, The X Factor, America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, Australia's Got Talent, Slovakia's Got Talent, your grandmother's Got Talent, and every other mashugana show out there. There was one talent show, folks, Star Search, and nobody had a fucking clue what was coming for Sam. Who could know?
From Sand Springs, Oklahoma, Sam Harris.
Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible said, still is news. Mama may have, your papa may have, but God bless the child who got his own. I got my own. I got my own.
4-star.
Week after week, 25 million people tuned in to see if the little fucker with the big clothes and the bigger voice would win. Now, Star Search didn't have mentors or stylists or feedback from the judges or a pop catalog to choose from. Sam wore what he wanted and he sang what he wanted. And he was either too young or green or stupid to choose commercial. He chose personal. If you tell the truth on stage, you can do anything.
From Sand Springs, Oklahoma, Sam Harris.
It's my turn to be what I can be. Well, I hope you'll understand that this time it's just for me. It's my turn. Oh, it's my turn. Suddenly, Sam was everywhere. On magazine covers, impersonated on Saturday Night Live, an answer on Jeopardy. Who is Sam Harris? You could plots from all the hoo-ha. And with each win, Sam felt the need to top himself. Bigger, higher, better. Any day now, oh, any day now, I shall be released.
4 stars. Going for his 10th win.
If you ever need a true love, come to me.
4
In
stars.
perfect
Going for his 11th win. 4 stars. Going for his 12th win. 4 stars. Going for his 13th win. 4 stars. For the title, from Sand Springs, Oklahoma, Sam Harris.
Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. If birds fly over the rainbow, then why? Oh, why? I mean, seriously? I did everything but shoot fireworks out of my ass. At the end of the season, I won the title Grand Champion, which is the same title awarded to winners of the American Kennel Club Dog Show. Fame had kissed me, or rather, stuck its tongue down my throat. I'd finally been chosen. The world was my tribe. And in my mind, it was just the beginning. I wanted to be so famous that I would be vehemently hated by all the people I admired most. I wanted mobs of adoring fans to remind me that I was not alone in the way I felt about myself. I wanted to be so famous that I would get the full 60 minutes. Jerry loved and played into my newfound stardom and all the accompanying ego and drama, but mostly he was protective. One Sunday morning, I ambled into my breakfast nook to find Jerry making himself at home reading the Los Angeles Times. Welcome. Good morning. Can I have the calendar section? I did that feature last week. I want to see if there were any comments from readers. It's so weird. Where's the letters to the editor section? I don't know. You want some matzo brie? I finally found the secret to fluffy eggs. If you turn off the heat just as soon as part of the paper is missing. I headed to the corner market. Woo-hoo! Sam Harris from Star Trek. Is that you? I looked up to see an African American of Amazonian proportions and questionable gender wearing a yellow tube top and a pair of capri pants that wouldn't capri on anyone under 7'2". Good morning. I thought that was you. You know my friend, she saw you in here once and she was so excited. Now that I see you for myself, you just an ugly little thing. I threw change on the counter and headed back home. You are not gonna believe what just happened to me. This woman who might have been a man just said to me, "You just an ugly little thing." I mean, don't these people know that I'm an actual human being with actual feelings? And he, whatever, I'm still not sure, was black. How could this be? Black people are my people. I took a shower to collect myself and returned to the breakfast nook to find the paper neatly folded. Once again, I flipped through the calendar section, but once again, the letters to the editor page was missing. I knew something was up. I'd seen that Lucy episode. Okay, where is it? Where is what? Where is the page? I know you're hiding something from me. Jerry reached under the sink and pulled a page out from the very bottom of the trash can. It was covered in soggy coffee grounds and gooky eggshells and matzo crumbs. I scanned the page and found it. Dear editor, why are you wasting valuable column space on Sam Harris? I don't get it. He sounds like a cross between a police siren, Ethel Merman, and Arnold the pig. I can't believe you let me read this.
15 minutes, Mr. Harris.
I'll be ready.
No, that's how long you get in the limelight, unless you can stretch it out a little bit longer. 5 minutes. Places!
Don't go out there, you talentless charlatan. What if they find out? What if you're not enough? What the hell are you doing?
Showtime.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Hey, it's Arnold the pig.
I've always been this way. It's my curse, my kiss, my blight, my bliss that keeps me on display. I'm a certified, hey,
Life is a bowl of shit.
my knack, my crack, my vice. Savory is sweet, good enough to eat. Everybody grab a big slice. My records go platinum. I play Broadway, Carnegie Hall. I'm all over television. I tour the world. I'm living a high on the hog. At 33 years old, I negotiate the best financial deal of my theatrical career thus far. An incredible weekly salary, a percentage of the box office. Merchandising. I call my parents to share the good news. After a long silence, my father says, you know, if you'd become a professional baseball player, you'd really be raking it in. If I'd called him to tell him I'd become a professional baseball player, he'd probably have said, you know, if you were emperor of the world. I fear that I will never be satisfied with anything I achieve. Because if I achieved it, it can't be that difficult to achieve.
You're on!
How am I doing? Damn!
A little Negro child.
It's in my DNA. When the road gets rough, I'll find the truffle. Life is a buffet. Joseph in the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. The Broadway Nationals Tour. I am the star. In each city, about 40 local kids were cast to do some singing and dancing and up the cute factor. In a city that I have blocked from memory, a talented and highly driven ham of a child who was positioned directly at my feet kept staring straight out at the audience instead of up at me. Then I could feel him edging himself in front of me and into my light. Then I could hear him singing my part in my light, full out. Well, I had no choice but to cut him off cold turkey. So I stepped forward onto little Hormel's hand, not giving it my full weight, of course. Well, most of it. And then it occurred to me that I was competing with a little child for my place on the stage and how pathetic that was. I mean, what did that say about me? My ego, my hamdom. That's when I stepped on his other hand. I've been braised and cropped,
Queer.
glazed and hot,
Bad.
deep fried, butterflied, boiled and walked. I've been chomped and chewed, chickaroned and stewed, turned around on a spit,
Freak.
buried and smoked in a pit.
Sissy boy.
Sometimes deviled, I admit. This little pig is just Hollywood, California, a star-studded benefit. I'm waiting to go on, and I see Carol Channing sitting in the corner gluing rhinestones to a cast on her arm. Carol, what are you doing here? I thought you were out of the show. I saw you fall down the stairs at rehearsal and break your arm. They took you to the hospital. I said I'd be here, and I'm here. Sam, what was the name of that singer from the 50s? And she was mixed up with the mob, and she was raped and beaten and committed to a mental institution? Connie Francis? Yes. I said to her, Connie, get over it. You've still got your orchestrations. You're still in show business.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Sam.
Sam who?
That's showbiz.
I fear that I will never reach what I believe is my full potential because I'm disillusioned about the potential of my full potential.
Suck it up, Harris. Hit it!
Ham!
You're in show business.
Salted, smoked, and brined. Reality's no match for me. I've grown a thicker rind. I'm a rubber stamped ham. A jambone connoisseur. 1,000 recipes, pass the mustard, please. Add a slice of cheese, got me on my knees. Nothing that a ham can't cure.
You're not Helen Keller.
A ham can't cure.
You just a ugly little thing.
A ham can't cure.
You can be Waterboy if you want.
A ham can't. I fear that less is less, and more is never enough. Damn! It's never enough. It's never enough. Once again, the Sam mask I'd mastered wasn't sticking. I couldn't convince or delude myself any longer. Whatever had been missing was still missing. What is enough? I felt as though I'd known the answer a long time ago, but had forgotten it somewhere along the way. Sometimes you have to go backward to move forward. Even if it means going back in your mind to a time in your life that you had tucked away and would just as soon have forgotten. When a darning needle had saved my life. It's okay. I promise everything will be okay. I was holding on, but I knew I couldn't much longer sustain the slow, sinking sorrow that had so overtaken me. My thoughts of suicide were actually keeping me alive, like a trusted friend who would be there patiently waiting in case nobody else showed up. I didn't want to die. Two, 4, 5, 3, 5, 1, 5. McDowell might be the one to show up. Hello, hey, hi, it's Sam. Sorry to bother you. A couple of weeks ago when you said if I ever wanted to talk about anything, well, I think that I would like to in private. But hey, listen, if you don't have the time, it's not that important. Really? Yes, yeah, before school would be great. That's just perfect. 7 o'clock. I will be there. I will be there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The next morning, I arrived at Mr. McDowell's classroom door, room 209. I was 15 minutes early. So was McDowell. He unlocked his door and pulled up 2 chairs to face each other. He took a swig from his coffee and just sort of looked at me with a patient strength. I'm different. Well, thank God for that. I'm a homosexual. I told him everything. I told him I'd known I was different since my earliest memories, long before it had a name that specified shame. I told him about Scott. I finally told somebody about Scott. I told him about the darning needle. I waited for shock to register, but it never came. I told him I was afraid, and he listened. He listened with a kind of active intensity that most people have only when talking. And when I had exhausted myself, he gently spoke. There is nothing wrong with you. I stared at him, fixed, trying to digest the words that I had wanted anyone to say. There is nothing wrong with you. Anyone, my mother, my father, a friend, Scott, a doctor, a preacher, a politician, Walter Cronkite, a character in a book or a play or a movie or on television, anyone to say, there is nothing wrong with you. It couldn't be that simple. The years of anguish justified proof. I'd studied my disease. What about Havelock Ellis and Alfred Kinsey and Masters and Johnson? They're scientists. It's documented. Homosexuality is a sickness, pathological, perverted. McDowell easily located an American Psychiatric Association book and showed me that in 1973, only 5 years prior, homosexuality had been declassified as a mental disorder. Clinical studies demonstrate that same-sex attractions, feelings, and behaviors are normal and positive variations of human sexuality. What? How could this be? Okay, so you know this. What about everybody else? What about the Bible thumpers and everybody else in this town? They're wrong. They're just wrong. And also, some people are assholes. Sam, where do you think your particular talent comes from? And your humor, and your drive, and your compassion. There is nothing wrong with you. You can't just pick and choose and snatch away pieces of yourself and expect to be the same person. It's all one thing. There is nothing wrong with you. Either you like and accept yourself as a complete picture, or you don't. If I were you, I wouldn't trade any of the person you are or any of what got you here. What a loss that would be. Sam, I want you to promise me something. I want you to promise me that if you ever again decide to kill yourself, that you will call me first. I promise. I will be very, very sad and very, very angry if you didn't call me. I just want to be happy, then be happy. It's not easy. People who have the most to give are very often the people who have the most to overcome. You are not an accident, Sam. You have a purpose. And part of that purpose is to be happy. You are worthy. You are enough, as is. There is nothing wrong with you. Just be a good person. Live your life. Live your life. And that will be enough. I always knew that I could fly. I'd spread my wings and I would sail across the sky. But every time I needed more, so I'd fly higher, faster, farther than before. But now I'm weary of the pace, and dropping dreams along the way I can't replace. Don't know what more I have to prove. The wings that carried me away refuse to move. But in the stillness there's a stirring as I stumble past the past. In the quiet there is courage to fly again at last. I will stand up, I will be free, and I will live a life that's meant for me. I will soar and I will sing, and I'll embrace whatever love may bring. I'm healing from the yesterdays that tied me to the ground. I've only got a broken wing. and it won't keep me down. So many doubts, so many lies. The ones I told myself were faithful alibis. But there's a truth inside of me where there's no right or wrong or what I'm supposed to be. And in the silence of confusion, I must dare myself to trust. So I'm shaking off the illusion and I'm brushing off the dust. I will stand up, I will be free, and I will live the life that's meant for me. I will soar and I will sing, and I'll embrace whatever love may bring. I'm healing from the yesterdays that tied me to the ground. I've only got a broken wing, and it won't keep me down. Wings mend, and the things bend, and pictures shatter, but they don't matter anymore. No, they can't matter anymore. I will stand up, I will be free, and I will live the life that's meant for me. I will soar and I will sing, and I'll embrace whatever love may bring. I'm a healing from the yesterdays that tied me to the ground. I've only got a broken wing. La da da da, da da da, la da da da, da da, la da da, Daddy, what are you humming? It's a song that I seem to forget now and then, so I like to sing it once in a while so I remember. Daddy, if astronauts fly in space, and we're on the Earth, and the Earth flies in space, then aren't we all astronauts? I never thought of that. That's pretty smart. Emily Martin says it's stupid. Also, I was the first one tagged out of baseball today, and Emily Martin says it's because I'm too slow. Daddy, there's a lot of things wrong with me. Scoot over. Cooper, there is nothing wrong with you. And also, some people are, Daddy. Daddy, when you were little, did you ever feel kind of different? Yes, absolutely. Everybody feels that, Cooper. Every single person feels that. I remember when I was little, I felt like I was different, or I didn't fit in, or I didn't have any friends. Was Pop your friend? I didn't meet Pop until I was much older. Daddy, if I was little when you were little, I would have been your friend. Thank you, Cooper. How long have you and Pop been married? Well, let's see. You're 8 years old, so 8 years. Shotgun wedding. But we've been together for a really long time, 21 years. 5 of the best years of my life. Not consecutively. I'm kidding. Danny is my great love. When we first met, he drew me in against my will. He was spontaneous and life-embracing, and he pierced my defenses, ripping me from the known. It was as consuming as a storm in the way it drenched me. It was as unpredictable as tears in the way it surprised me. And it was as sturdy as courage in the way I said yes. Daddy, how come it took you and Pop so long to get married? Well, you know, some people think only a man and a woman should be married, and it took a lot of time for that to change. That's silly. Daddy, tell me the story about when I was born. Well, Pop and I wanted a baby more than anything in the whole world. But you know, 2 boys can't make a baby by themselves, so we adopted you so that we would be your parents and you would be our son. And we were with you when you were born, and we held you in our arms, and we became a family. And everybody came to see me. Everybody came. All of our friends and aunts and uncles and cousins and Grammy and Nana and Bubba. And Nana cried and cried and cried because she was so happy. Did Bubba cry? Dad, are you okay? I never knew. Never knew what? I watch you and Danny. The way you look at Cooper. The way you are with him. Feeding him, changing him, being up all night. The way you hold him. And I know what's coming and how fast it goes. And I missed it. I'm sorry, son. I wasn't there. You're a good person, Sam. You're a good man. And you're going to be a good father. A better father than I was. I held him close, as if for a moment I was the father and he was the son. Did Bubba cry? Bubba cried most of all. And then we went to the farmer's market, you and me and Pop. Tell about the farmer's market. Well, I had been fantasizing about this day my entire life, and it was beautiful outside. And Pop and I pushed your stroller down the center aisle of the market like we were in a parade. And I was waiting for everyone to cheer and applaud our exceptional new family. I could even hear music in my head like we were royalty, with flutes and violins and trumpets, Daddy. Yes, lots of trumpets. And then what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. We didn't even get a second look. 2 dads pushing their child in a stroller at a market on a Saturday morning was simply no big deal. And even with nobody clapping and no trumpets, it was still okay. It was more than okay, Coop. It was enough. Okay, it's time for bed. Seriously. You want me to sing you one more song? I guess so, Daddy. You guess so? People pay good money to hear me sing. I know, Daddy. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't
Amazing audience.
Thank you, everybody. Matinee tomorrow, half-hour call, 1:30.
I need an understudy.
I will stand up, I will be free, and I will live the life that's meant for me. I will soar and I will sing, and I'll embrace whatever love may bring. I'm healing from the yesterdays that tied me to the ground. I've only got a broken wing, and it won't keep me down. I was down, I was tired, hurting with the burden of a sad, sad song on middle ground, uninspired, dealing with the feeling that there's something gone wrong. But deep in my darkest hour, I saw a light, although not very bright, it was enough to release the power. Now I've had enough, it's time to get on up. Revival is on the way, revival. Hear me when I say revival. This is the day that I shall be free of the chains that binding me. I was scared, I was blinded, waiting for the day when love would make me sing. Unprepared, close my neck, with uses of excuses for the same old thing. The deep dead man I